Bonjour et bienvenue, étudiante français 2. Hello and welcome, French 2 students. I am here to share your course overview with you. So, my name is Mrs. Houle, and you can remember how to pronounce it because it rhymes with pool. And obviously, I'll be your French teacher this year. I also teach middle school English and social studies at ICON. So what you will need to do is to watch this video and we will go through your course overview together. And then there will be 3 questions at the end of this assignment that you'll need to answer in order to get credit for this assignment. So, as always, please contact me at any time throughout the semester if you have any questions or concerns about this course. So here is my schedule and contact information. Normally, I am available Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Mountain Time. So keep that in mind if you live in North Idaho, since Mountain Time is an hour difference from Pacific Time. I have a live office for help or questions that you can pop in on Mondays and Wednesdays, 1 to 2 p.m. Mountain Time. There is a link for you to enter the live office right there. Or if you go to the Icon School calendar there on Mondays and Wednesdays, you'll see a link at the appropriate time to enter also. A live office is just a place online where you can come for help or questions, and you'll be hearing me, and you can either talk to me through your microphone or you can type in instant messages in there for questions. Um, there's my email address, and I have 2 phone numbers. So the first is my cell phone, and it's where I'm most generally available. The second is my home phone, and just keep in mind that when I am working from home, my cell phone doesn't work at my home. So you need to try both, and please do leave a message. If I am not answering the phone, because it's probably that I am on the phone with another student or helping someone else, and I will get back to you right away. So, what is French about? French 2 builds on and reviews skills and concepts taught in French 1 through further exposure to communication, cultures, connections, comparisons, and communities, all those C words. This course gives students practice using the mechanics of the French language, acquaints them with the cultural differences of Francophone countries, and helps them gain a keen awareness of their own culture. So if you've taken French 1 with Icon, then you will have a good understanding of how to do French 2 with Icon. If you've taken French 1 elsewhere, be sure that you are in the proper level of French depending on how much you remember and can recall from French 1, because you will need everything from French 1 to build on what you'll need to do in French 2. And although you cannot expect to become fluent in French after just 1 or 2 years of taking it, you will learn vocabulary and phrases to help you if you decide to travel. And it's like learning language as a baby. We don't expect 2-year-olds to completely be able to express themselves and understand what adults are saying. But you should have a much better understanding of it. Also, learning a language gives you help in learning about your own language, because the vocabulary a lot of times is the same or stems from the same word, and it's really interesting how much they are actually alike, even though at the beginning you don't think they are. And also, since French is the next most used language internationally after English, you will be able to understand much of what is going on in the world. If you've ever watched the Olympics, you'll notice that they have announcements in English and in French. A lot of places in the world use English and French. So you'll be able to understand a lot of what's going on in the world. Additional resources you'll need to complete this course. Of course, you need internet access. You'll have to have access to an encyclopedia, either online or a hard copy. If you need to look online, all you need to do is search Google for an online encyclopedia. It would be advisable to have paper, a notebook, and a pencil or pen to take notes to help you. Writing things out gives your brain another way to remember things. And really, it's proven that writing things out is 7 times more effective at helping you to remember things than just typing them. A printer is optional to print out vocabulary and study guides, and a little more on study guides in a minute. Your unit overviews. At the beginning of each unit, you will find an overview, or what you will learn. Also included are study guides for each quiz and test in the unit, and some units have important links for readings or resources you'll need. You'll need to answer 2 questions to get credit for completing each unit overview. Live class assignments. To help you with the more difficult assignments and projects, I have scheduled live class assignments throughout the units. As the time gets closer for each assignment, I will insert a link for you to either attend a live class session or to watch a recording of it and call me for credit. I will also email you at the beginning of each week when the live classes will be held. You will be required to complete one of these options for credit for the assignment, and you won't be able to do these assignments in advance because they are live classes and the recording of them is put in to the assignment afterwards if you're not able to attend. I thought I was going to tell you one more thing about the live class assignments, but I will have to remember later. Grading policy and weights. If you are concerned about any assignments, your grade, or your progress, please contact me as soon as possible. I expect you to read and study the lessons and complete all lessons, projects, quizzes, and tests in the order that they are due. Related to that is new for the 2015-16 school year in ICON in general. It is the school-wide policy of ICON to reassign blank essay answers within lessons, quizzes, and tests. Students submitting blank essays will have these questions reassigned, and repeated blank essays will result in assignments being locked and may result in parent-teacher conferences to resolve the issue. So in other words, blank essay or short answer questions will not be accepted. Even if you wish to get a 0 on them, you have to at least try to answer. In quizzes and tests, if you don't know, at least make an attempt to answer. Because it is the policy of ICON, and it's not my policy, so if you turn in something blank, I will have to reassign it, and if you keep submitting it, I'll have to just lock your course and talk with you and your parent to resolve it. Okay. Plagiarism and online translators. I'm sure you already know that plagiarism is essentially copying someone else's work and making it your own. You will need to write any researched material in your own words. You must include citations anytime you research or look up information. Using a quote in your answer is not plagiarism if you use quotation marks, you keep it to 1 or 2 lines of text, and if you tell where the quote came from. If an assignment is plagiarized, it will be a 0, except for your first offense, and then you'll just have to redo. Your parents will also be contacted, possibly the ICON administration, depending on the situation. So it's advised just not to plagiarize. Using an online translator is treated in this course the same as plagiarism. Looking up a word or two is fine, just like using a dictionary, but translating entire phrases, sentences, and passages is not. And a little bit more on that later. So, extra credit is available if you have no zeros and you would like to improve your grade. Please contact me if you would like to consider extra credit. Now for the grade weights. Your lessons will be 25% of your unit grade. You have 3 attempts to reach a score of at least 75%. Projects are 25% of your unit grade. a blank project will be reassigned as a blank essay. It says see info above, what we just talked about. Um, I won't be able to accept a blank project. In other words, you have to at least give it a try. Quizzes are 25% of your unit grade. You will have only one opportunity to complete quizzes and tests, so make sure you're prepared before you open them. And tests are also 25% of your unit grade. One opportunity, make sure you're prepared. So you'll notice that there are more quizzes than tests. There's only one unit test per unit, so that is 25% of your unit grade. If you have a low test or quiz score and you would like something reassigned for a better grade, reassigning quizzes and tests. Alternative versions of quizzes and tests will be assigned if a student wishes to redo them for a better grade. This will be done at my discretion and most likely at the end of the unit. So in other words, if you were with us last year, I generally reassigned the same quiz and test for you. I won't be doing that this year. You'll just be given an alternative version instead. So keep that in mind. You'll be having the same concepts, but they won't be the same questions. And done at my discretion is really meaning I can look up to see how long you spent on that quiz or test, and if you only took 3 minutes to click through, then I'm really not going to be inclined to assign something else to you. And probably at the end of the unit, but to see if your grade goes up and to see if you need to retake. All right, study guides. You had study guides last year, but new for the 2015-16 school year, study guides will be actual lessons to be turned in before working on each quiz or test. An incomplete study guide will be treated as a blank essay, and see above. Okay, we already talked about not turning in blank essays. So what you'll have in your unit overview, you will have links to your study guides as before so that you can download or print and fill out the answers or make notes as you work through your lessons. What is new this year is before each quiz or test, that study guide will be inserted into a lesson and you will need to turn it in completed. For the French study guides, part of the study guide won't be able to be completed, but it will tell in the study guide which part you do need to complete and turn in. It'll say something like, you'll need to complete the rest of this study guide and turn it in. Okay? If you have a question about that, let me know definitely. All right, then how to study a language, especially online. When learning a new language, we all have the tendency to want to translate things word for word. You can do that when learning new vocabulary words, but sentences and phrases are entirely different. When reading and listening and trying to understand conversations in French, I want you to focus on the overall sense of what is being said. When phrases are translated word by word, they tend to sound strange, and they might not even make very much sense. Sorry about that, guys. I forgot to turn my phone off. Anyway, okay. So, as a side note, this is also how I will know if you used an online translator to write what you want to say in French. It looks and sounds totally absurd when you know how to read French. I'll also know that you do not have that level of vocabulary yet. So, in other words, translators are for things to be looked up one word at a time. If you look up an entire phrase or sentence in French, the translator doesn't know what context you're using it in, so it translates just each word at a time, and it may not make sense. Everything that you need to know is in your lessons, or you can ask me for help. The best way to complete an assignment to be written in French is to use what you already know from your lessons. Copy, yes, copy the examples given in the assignments, but put in the information you need to provide. Quite a lot of your written assignments will have an example. Follow that. Okay. Read the rubric for a written assignment if one is included. A grading rubric will let you know exactly what is required and will allow you to be successful the first time. Listen to and practice the French vocabulary aloud. It also gives your brain another way to remember the material you've learned. So, in other words, when you click on how to say the word, also repeat it because your ear will hear it, that will go to your brain, and that will give you another way of remembering. So, bonne chance, good luck. Don't forget to complete the questions at the end of this assignment, and please contact me if you need help. Au revoir.